Hello, good morning in Asia, good afternoon in Switzerland, and good evening in America. This is truly a borderless and timeless international conference. I am Phyllis Lanlin, and it's my privilege and pleasure on behalf of President Dr. Li Lu and the Board of Directors of AODN to welcome you. Today is AODN's first online annual conference. I am delighted to meet you on the screen. First of all, allow me to introduce our distinguished guests, Dr. Wang Xiaohui, President of CODN, Mrs. Chaofan Ma, co-founder of CODN, Dr. Matt Minhan, OD Network, Dr. Fuji Yu of OD Network Indonesia, representative for IODA, and Dr. Dia Damayanti, OD Network Indonesia, Dr. Neddy Lin, Myanmar OD Association, Dr. William J. Roswell, President of Roswell and Associates, Inc., and Mr. Roland Sullivan, consultant to AODN. I would also like to welcome all new and long-standing AODN members and guests from around the world. We are delighted to have your attendance at this year's conference. The Asian Organization Development Network, AODN, was conceived by Dr. Uday Parikh and Mr. Roland Sullivan in around 2000. It fell apart, but Dr. Li picked it up for China. Thus, Dr. Li is also considered a co-founder. AODN's goals are multifold. It aims to connect and network with OD practitioners and scholars in Asia and around the world, to address climate change, to co-create and formulate new conceptual and theoretical frameworks in OD, with a special focus on their relevance to the emerging economic, social, cultural, and technological developments in the Asian region, to promote OD and institutional building practices among all sectors of society, and to offer OD relevant training programs. AODN has alliances with OD institutes and organizations in the United States and several Asian countries. We are so privileged and we are deeply appreciative to have many of their representatives' participation in this conference. Thank you. The year 2020 is a year of challenge and transformation for AODN. Recently, under the leadership of co-founder Dr. Li Lu, AODN has reorganized its board of directors and undertaken a membership drive, strengthening and expanding its alliances in Asia, Africa, Europe, and Australia. And most of all, AODN will launch an OD competency certificate program. Mr. Roland Sullivan, the most resourceful and visionary OD practitioner and scholar, has helped AODN to invite internationally renowned multidisciplinary and cross-cultural speakers to offer OD competency courses starting in January 2021. The program will adopt ODN's global OD competency platform to provide practitioners and scholars in HR and OD and students in OD PhD programs opportunities to further develop and strengthen their aptitudes, skills, and knowledge in OD. Dr. William Roswell will present a special workshop on the third day of this conference to discuss the transformation of HR to OD in the world. Dr. Roswell's presentation will be a preview of the certificate program. We welcome your participation and support for this program. Please check AODN website for details. This year's conference includes interactive sessions, keynote workshops, and concurrent sessions with 5 tracks, which will be the platform for OD PhD program candidates to share their research designs and findings with us. The purpose of this year's conference is to reveal the evolution of HR and OD in China, the transformation from HR to OD in the world, and to include selected topics related to permanent issues in HR and OD, including diversity and inclusion, dynamics of change, developing the leadership in Asia, creating new culture, developing and learning contemporary OD trends in Asia. The conference will conclude with a special presentation on the role of OD practitioners in climate change, a very timely and globally relevant topic of concern for all humanity. The online platform GoToWebinar operated by TechServe will be used as the conference venue. Presentations will be recorded and will be posted on the AODN website. We are very excited about this year's conference's new format. Technology is a miracle tool. Hope everything goes well and smoothly. Once again, on behalf of AODN, our heartfelt welcome to all of you, and together, may our joint endeavor for the development, professionalization, and internationalization of OD in Asia be fully realized in the years to come. Thank you. Before we start this morning's program, I would like to first invite Dr. Wang Xiaohui of CODN to bring his greetings from China. Dr. Wang, please.
Okay. Dear friends, all the experts and the practitioners, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Dr. Wang Xiaohui from China, Guangzhou. We are very glad to be a co-organizer and a supporter for this annual online conference. China AOD Network was announced in December 2018, formally established in May 2019. Now we have 1,500 members, and we have 30 founding members, and also we have thousands active participants. Every year we should have an annual conference. For example, last year, 2019, November, we had an annual conference. This year we should have an annual conference, but because of global pandemic, we cooperate with AODN for this new kind of annual conference. Wish our conference will be smooth and successful. Also, I hope China AOD Network will have more cooperation with AODN. And also, we are thinking to hold a conference next year after, I think, the pandemic will be ended, maybe next year. So I hope we could have more cooperation. Have more. We will have right next year's conference in China. Okay. Now I think because the ceremony already postponed, I just say this. Thank you. Thank you all. Now I'm handing to Dr. Menahan, right?
That's correct. Thank you very much, Doctor. My name is Matt Minahan, and I send you greetings from here on the East Coast of the United States, in Annapolis, Maryland, where it's 8 o'clock in the evening. And I'm wishing you a lovely Friday morning there in China and through time zones around the world. I'm a former chair of the OD Network, or the Organization Development Network, and a longtime member. And I wanted to say a few words about the OD Network and its role in promoting the advancement of organization development, not only in the US, but around the world. You'll notice that at the very top of the image that you can see, the purpose of the OD Network is to advance the science, practice, and impact of OD. And our participation in this workshop and our participation in the Global OD Certificate that Dr. Liu will be offering in the 2021 early part are all part of our mission to advance the science, practice, and the impact of OD. So when we talk about our mission, vision, and purpose as an organization, it's important to remember that the OD Network was founded in 1968 as an adjunct of NTL Institute, the National Training Labs. Warner Burke was on the staff at NTL, and he was the chair of what was known as the Industrial Network in NTL, and that became the Organization Development Network. So the mission, vision, and purpose of the network have evolved over time, and here we find ourselves now in 2020, where the mission of the OD Network is to make meaningful connections, bring people together. To our members, that they don't just care about networking and the exchange of business cards, but supporting each other in ways that are important and meaningful as individuals. And that's part of what we're doing here by our participation in your workshop. And by the way, thank you very much for the invitation. Our vision is to grow, to connect, and to impact. So people can expand their skills, expand their reach, expand their network, and expand their impact. So we've built a strong community over these 50 years with diverse connections. We're focused on continuous learning and creating experiences that develop both the depth and the breadth of knowledge and skills and behavior for ourselves and for others. And in terms of the science and the practice and the impact of OD, that's why we're here. This means we take evidence-based decisions based on research in the behavioral sciences. We practice organization development within organizations in order to improve an organization's sustained effectiveness and health. We make that impact by introducing solutions and interventions that impact the organization's strategic objectives and the bottom line. We're also contributing to a better world, addressing questions like global poverty, global hunger, climate change. Those global problems, global issues that affect the world are right at the center of what we do in organization development and in the OD network. So thank you again for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be with you for these proceedings. I now want to introduce Dr. Daya Darmayanti. She will speak about the Indonesia OD network and the OD practitioners there. Dr. Daya.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, Dr. Daya, we can't yet hear you.
You need to click the button to unmute yourself, Dr. Dai.
So I think Dr. Daya has disconnected. So why don't we skip to the Myanmar OD Association. Dr. Nandi Lin, will you speak to us about Myanmar, please?
Okay. Good evening and good day to everybody. You know, it's my honor and pleasure meeting you all in this conference. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody around the world, especially Dr. Lee and Dr. Phyllis, you know, allow me to be to part of the panelists. And unfortunately, I was planning to present participate in the next day presentation, but unfortunately, due to my mother's she's going to hospitalize and taking an surgical operation this afternoon. So you know, it's after this section, so I like to excuse for my absence, you know, for the later part of the sections. But I'd like to present about talk about the Myanmar OD associations. Actually, it was officially founded in 2015 by the first batch of OD candidates. At that time, we are not graduate yet, but they are. It's by the we are the first cohort of OD PhD OD candidates in the of Assumption University, which Dr. Lee is the director. But by then, Dr. Lee was our instructor and the lecturers. I was one of the first supervisor of him, and he was encouraged for me to organize the team, and I'm the chair of the OD. But in 2015, we got the official registration from Myanmar from the Myanmar government, the official certificate of foundation of Myanmar OD Association. But due to several difficulties and the issues that we are not able to properly function as the associations. But in order to get it in Myanmar, as you all know, that we are in the transition period of everything. But in 2015 was the transition of our political system. So it's not really we are not able to conduct a proper workshop and connect with the other associations. We have to since this is we are the NGO, non-government organization, and we are that's why we need to have many scrutinization process to be to establish as an organization, association as well. And furthermore, it is pretty hard to organize a OD because we are not OD in Myanmar is not prosper yet. Many people know HR a lot, but we are not. OD is they talk about organizational development. It's not organization development. They perceive as organization development HR, but mostly nowadays after having 2017 when our newly elected government it's in the governmental position, and that they getting know that the organization development instead of organizational development, but the HR leads the road and the field, but having discussed with discussions with Dr. Lee and I we are having we were going to have organize at the small workshop together, working together with China OD associations and AODN network. It was planned ahead in 2018 and 2019, and we are going to organize our AODN workshop, a small workshop, not the conference or the seminar, but the working together with IODA people, and that's how we plan. But it was in 2019. Unfortunately, in 2020, since 2020, due to the regional and the government restrictions, we are not able to allow anything. And even we are stay at home and we are locked down. I can't go to work. That's why we can't able to connect with other people. Although the technology, as Phyllis mentioned, that technology is amazing. It's a wild thing. But in Myanmar, we are not not easily access each other because of the connectivity. We are not we are a little bit behind, although we are able to access the internet, most of the people, but we are not able to reach and connect each other. So for this year, I would like to excuse everybody that I can't bring many members here to attend although I relay all the message to them, due to the difficulty and work at home and also stay at home and other, because most of the people and most of our friends, as you all know, that they are in the quarantine center, so they can't be able to access the internet, so that they can't be able to join this seminar. That's our situation. That I hope but I really appreciate that, so we are Myanmar as MODA, MODA, Myanmar OD Association. We are able to have access, and we have a lot to support. We have even a lot of supports from all over the world, AODA and with Mr. Rockwell and Matt, so that we are glad, and we have a Chinese partner as well. So I think we can able to work together with you and more further connectivity as well. Thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Nandi. Let's return now to Dr. Dia Dharmayanti, please, about the Indonesia OD practitioners.
Okay. Can you hear me? Good
Yes,
morning.
You sound great.
Yeah. Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all OD practitioner, OD expert, and OD consultant. My name is Dia Dharmayanti. I'm from Indonesia. And in Indonesia, the awareness of OD is quite good now. This is indicated by the number of companies that have OD division within that company. Although in practice, OD is still considered the same as human capital or human resource development in Indonesia. So seeing this condition, and as a PhD OD graduate, we want to provide an understanding of OD to industrial community in Indonesia. We have some strategy. We create the Master OD degree at Petra Christian University in Surabaya. And then we establish an association called Indonesian Association Organization Development Practitioner. This association consists of 120 people, where they are the business owner and business leader in their company. Every month we share about OD knowledge, and we running in the seminar and training to the business owner and business leader in OD knowledge. And in addition, we also provide CODP. CODP is Certified Organization Development Practitioner. We hold practical education in OD, and we give the OD knowledge, OD strategy, culture, how the organization create OD division in their company. And then it's a place for leader of organization who have a strong desire to develop themselves, build marketing networks, and simultaneously contribute to the creation of value for organization and business. We have formation. We develop self-leadership competence. We build business network. We creating value for society, and we empower millennial people. And we study to Alibaba in Shanghai, Hangzhou, China, with Miss Fujiyu as the leader, and we doing the benchmark, with OD practitioner from Indonesia, We develop the organization is carried out through the Learn and Leisure program, which is participated by Indonesian Association Organization Development Practitioner. And then I say congrats and success to Dr. Lilu as Asia OD Network President for AODN conference today. Thank you very much.
And now we take a moment for all attendees to have an opportunity to take a photo of our distinguished speakers and OD leadership. So all speakers and OD leadership, please look directly into your cameras and a big smile. And I will help our attendees with a 3, 2, 1 countdown for all of our speakers and OD leadership to smile and hold. 3, 2, 1, smile and hold. Excellent. Now you can flex your cheeks and take a stretch. We will now be moving into this plenary session, engaging with each other and exploring the theme of OD in Asia. And as we prepare for our plenary session, we'd like to introduce Roland Sullivan to lead us as facilitator.
I'm here. And the most important thing I want to say is this conference is not about change management. I hope you can see the Warner Burke video, part 1 and part 2. Do we have that link so everybody can see it? Or how do I send it to people? Warner Burke, as Matt says, is probably the most published person in organization development in the world, from Columbia University. Well, we'll get that to you. So, 2 questions for the people who are coming up below. Who are you in one line, and what excites you about the conference? And one person follows another person on the list. Only 5 seconds of silence. Or if you don't come, I'll call on you. Okay, we'll start with the inimitable Dr. Phyllis.
Good morning again. Upon Roland's request, I will say a few words to answer 2 questions. Who are you? And what excites you about the conference in 5 minutes? I am Phyllis Lanlin, a member of AODN. I am Professor Emerita of the University of Indianapolis in the state of Indiana, USA. There are many ways to answer the question, who are you? At tomorrow's presentation, Breaking the Glass Ceiling, Diversity and Inclusion, I will ask myself the same question, who am I? I'm a professor, I'm a sociologist, I'm a woman, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a Chinese, I am an American, I am a Chinese American. And last but not the least, I am a student of OD. You see, we can identify ourselves from the perspectives of the roles we play, acknowledge our identities by occupation, ethnicity, religion, nationality, association, etc. When we answer the question, who am I? We become self-aware and aware of others because we cannot be aware of ourselves without the awareness of our counterparts. Or using sociological terminology, your reciprocal role. I cannot call myself a wife without a corresponding husband. We must take each other's into account to make our self-identity meaningful. Or I will dare to boldly say that for I to exist, there must be a we to fulfill the existence of I. This morning, my answer to the question, who are you, is I am a member of AODN. I'm simply so glad to meet all of you because we have something in common. We are AODN. I'm so excited to attend this conference. I have organized and chaired 16 international symposia in many countries, but nothing is as exciting as today's AODN conference. There are many reasons for us to attend the international conferences, including presentations, networking, and meeting people in your field, publications, traveling and visiting a new place, socialization, knowledge expansion, learning beyond and the state of the art in your field of interest, meeting some big shots in your field, having fun, and the list goes on. Yes, we hope to experience all of these great things in the next 3 days. I would like to point out a few unique features of our 2020 AODN conference. First, collaboration. AODN is collaborating with many professional organizations in Asia, Europe, and the United States. We are so appreciative to have the presence of many representatives from these professional organizations in OD and management. 2, cross-culture. The focus, excuse me, the focus of discussions is across cultures with special attention to Asian regions. Asia is emerging. We have a lot to learn from the predictable, preferable, and planned developments in Asia. We can also learn from the uncertain, volatile, and disruptive developments in Asia. Third, leadership development. This conference provides opportunities for leadership development. We have engaged many junior colleagues, namely OD PhD program candidates, to work with us side by side in the last few months. They volunteer and assist us with innovative ideas for the program design, coordinating with various interest groups, translating and editing speakers' manuscripts, present their own research proposals, continuing in planning meeting with constructive suggestions, and most of all, they realize they are not just students. They are a part of us. They are our junior colleagues.
Wrap it up.
Must credit success of this conference to them. In his latest book, The Leader's Greatest Return 2020, John Maxwell says, developing leaders is the only way to create a leadership culture. In his discussion of levels of leadership, Maxwell acknowledged pinnacle leaders have become skilled enough to help others reach the people development stage and become outstanding leaders themselves. They improve the reputations of their organizations, encouraging the most talented, innovative people to work there. At AODN, senior members create a leadership culture that brings in young and talented associates to work with us. The planning of this conference takes a concerted effort. We are putting our core values to work, and we have also exercised team building at this conference. Fourth, engaging with megatrend and current issues. The AODN must stay abreast of current issues and megatrends in the world. The sessions on climate change and diversity and inclusion bring our attention to global issues and call for all OD practitioners to engage with their social responsibilities to create safe and inclusive working environment.
Okay, let's go to Dr. Bill. We're way over on time.
I hope you are as excited as I am about this conference. Again, thank you for your support and participation. In the communication memo, I was allotted 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, big shot, Mr. Rothwell.
Okay, thank you, Roland. Well, I will be more brief, perhaps. If you don't know me, I'm Bill Rothwell. And who am I? I was asked to address that. I wear many hats like Phyllis does. I am a professor in charge of a master's and PhD program in organization development at Penn State University in the United States. We're on the East Coast, of course. We have about 100 PhD students and 250 all online master's degree students studying OD. And so that group is my main focus, but I'm also a consultant. I have many consulting OD projects. My specialty area is succession planning and talent management using an OD focus. And I've published 115 books at current count in HR, OD, talent management, succession planning, and all things HR related. I'm an unusual professor in the sense that I had 20 years of full-time HR and OD experience, both in government and in business, before I became a professor 28 years ago. So that's a bit about me. What does this conference mean to me? What are the main themes? Well, I think one of the points I want to emphasize about this conference is the virtual nature of it. And 2 years ago, I took a sabbatical from Penn State and studied OD in its current form and looked at the future. And I was disappointed to see at that time that OD was really not as focused on the technology and how we can use technology to build collaboration and joint decision making. And because of the virus, we have been forced to pay more attention to the technology as a means of interacting. Some of you may remember Marshall McLuhan and his famous comment, "The media is the message." And by that, what he meant is that the form, the way we communicate, affects how we perceive the message and the messenger. And I think that is a key lesson that OD people have not adequately focused on in the historical past. And in fact, when I talk to some of the technologists that I've interacted with, they even joke about OD people. They say, oh, those are the people that use flip charts and Post-it notes. And they say that in a very derogatory way, because their point is there are literally thousands of software programs where we can take Lewin's action research model, we can take Cooper Ryder's appreciative inquiry model, and we can make them alive using the technology and reach a global platform, as we are doing here. And so I think we are just at the beginning. So I choose to focus in my summary of the conference, not so much on the key conference themes as on the mode, how we are communicating and how we are interacting. And I urge you to pay attention to that, because I think there is a tendency when we interact in virtual methods to focus too much on the message and not enough on the people. And so that would be my point in this session. So I'll turn it over to the next person, Roland. It's up to you to figure out who's next. We can't hear you, Roland.
Dr. Wang.
Me? Hi. Roland? You call me?
Yes, Dr. Wang, you're up.
Okay. Okay. I think OD is a philosophy for how to make better organizations. And also, OD is a kind of methodology for how to make organization more efficient. As true, OD originates and developed in Western countries. Now, China and Chinese experts, practitioners now is learning OD, the Western developed OD. But I think China also has OD wisdom. And also China could create and present China's advent to the OD world. We are doing this. We try to find some OD new concept from Chinese history, Chinese experience. We called Chinese OD Chinese characteristics. Now we try to make some as we try to make some special contribution to OD from China's experience. That's our future's work. Actually, now we are doing this, especially I'm doing this. I hope I could have opportunity to present this later, not this time. Okay, that's my point.
So thank you, Dr. Wan. My name's Matt Minahan. I'm, as I said earlier, a representative of the Organization Development Network, and just very pleased to be here. I think of myself as a father and a grandfather, as a husband, a brother. I've got 5 sisters, but also as a teacher. I'm a university professor and a consultant. The work that and I work in the community as well. I'm an environmentalist and a community organizer here in the Annapolis, Maryland area where I live. I think of OD mostly, and most of my work in OD is around strategy and structure and culture change. And so these tend to be large projects having to do with the larger variables that affect organizations. So I want to encourage you, as you think about organization development, to think about the entry point, which is typically through HR and typically into team building. But don't stop there, because once you're in the organization and once you're in the field working on OD, working on team building, working in HR, the larger challenges around leadership development and structure and business process reengineering and strategy are all there waiting to be taken on. I've also had the privilege of working with Maria Wang and IOCOD in Shanghai. I was a keynoter for their conference last year and have done several workshops for them as well. A very strong OD-oriented firm. I will say that the other emphasis that I have in OD is around building a better world. And so beyond the work that I get paid for, there is work to alleviate poverty and work to address hunger and work to address climate change. And I'm hoping that you hear that message over the next couple of days in this workshop. I'll just say finally, my hope for you is that talking about the dynamics of change and Dr. Rothwell's session on transforming from HR to OD and innovative culture and developing leadership are all exactly what you need. Tomorrow, I'll be talking about the global OD competency framework. And I'm also excited that Dr. Phyllis Lin is going to be talking about the glass ceiling. So thanks very much to Lee. Thanks to everybody at AODN. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm very much looking forward to our time together over the next 3 days. Roland?
Great. Okay. So would anybody in the audience, the 64 people, have a question of the panelist that you would like to have answered about OD in Asia? Let's not be shy, you know. let's raise your hand, speak up. We anticipated this. That's why we wanted to go into breakout groups so you could talk. But now you gotta have some courage, because that's a very important competency for an internal change agent. Take some courage now and speak up. What question or what reaction might you have from the panelists that we just heard?
When we are waiting for the questions from the audience, I would like to raise the questions to Matt. Thank you for sharing that you're thinking about OD. It's beyond just helping the team, but also strategy and culture. So do you have anything specifically that what OD can do to facilitate strategy? I'm more interested in the connection to the business strategy part. Thank you.
Thanks very much for the question, Ma. There are two important things here, and the first one's very hard, particularly in the business world where when strategy consultants get hired, they are expected to give the company the strategy. And that's not what we do in OD. We don't know what your business strategy ought to be. We don't know what your sector is, but what we are really good at is mobilizing your people so that they can create a strategy that works for your sector and your organization. So the first big hurdle is to make sure the customer, the client, understands that we're not here to tell them to get into electronic banking. We're here to help their people come to the best strategy decisions that they can come to. So I found in my experience in China, helping organizations understand that we are not McKinsey, we are not Boston Consulting Group. We are not arriving with solutions and a stopwatch and telling them how to change their business process. We are here to help them intervene in the social system. Is the hardest thing. It's hard here in the US. It's particularly hard, I think, in Asia. And my experience, it's very hard in China as well. So for me, that's the first part. The second part, Ma, is to, at least what's worked in my case, has been to gradually work up from engagement to engagement and take on increasingly complex, increasingly challenging projects and engagements. They also tend to be increasingly long. So what started as a 2-week team building engagement then touched on something having to do with the climate in the system. And that's going to be a 4-week project. And after I finished the climate project, then maybe there was an entree into leadership development. And that's going to be a 6-month project. And so what's worked for me is the ability to expand on each engagement within the same client system and beyond in order to increase, work up the complexity hierarchy from team building through leadership development to business process reengineering, to culture change, to communications, to structure to strategy. So let me pause there. I hope I addressed your question, Ma.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Do we have somebody else, or I'm going to put Lou Lee on the spot? Do we have somebody else? Courage. Come on.
Not easy online to have Rhoda.
Yeah. Okay, Lee Lu, you tell us who you are and what excites you about this conference. I want to say that this is Lee Lu has absolutely created a miracle. He's put this conference together in a very short time with all you professional people in an absolutely remarkable way. So thank you, Lee Lu. I'll say it again at the closing. My God, you're a genius. Okay, Dr. Lee, listen, they're all clapping. So who are you in a line and what excites you about this conference? Can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Roland. Since you called my name, I was not well prepared, but as you know my name, Li Lu, and I also wear several hats. I'm very excited about this conference because we can invite famous professors, practitioners, and leaders of different nations who are eager to promote OD knowledge and skill in their territory. So this is the very first online OD conference. We made it. This is a teamwork, and I'm very excited about learning the process as you are here. Thank you.
A little bit more. So what really excites you about the conference?
Yes, as I mentioned, we can put this off the ground in a very short period of time, and which prove we are capable to effectively use our resources. Secondly, we are using technology to deliver this OD conference. And thirdly, we have all the stakeholders who love OD and who pay attention to develop OD gathered together. So this is the first session. I think we're going to have a very good brainstorming at the end of this conference. We will have lots of takeaway from this gathering, and this is just the beginning for the next one.
Great. Okay, anybody else have any comments? Or we're going to move on to the next section.
Roland, I'll just add that My first career was as an internal for 15 years at the World Bank, and we did a lot of work, particularly around community engagement, and particularly around how to find entry points into existing businesses and organizations to help them, a lot in Asia, to help them understand the value of worker engagement, of employee engagement, of delegation, and of bringing democratic principles to the workplace. And I'm so pleased to see the agenda that you have for this conference that Lee has put together for the next couple of days, because you are living out all of those principles. You are living out all of those factors as you advance OD in China and around the Asia region. So I just want to underscore what Roland said in congratulating Lee on his hard work, because it is conferences like this that enable you to share knowledge and information amongst yourselves, to take best practices from sector to sector, from business to business, from organization to organization. And as I look at your agenda for the next couple of days, it looks very exciting, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, thank you. Amber, are we recording this? And is this being videoed? Because we have a relationship with Dr. Steve Cady, who runs the PhD program from the first organization development program ever in the world at Bowling Green. And he's going to shoot this out to thousands of people at his leisure. So have we got this videoed? I can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear. Yeah.
Hmm?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
It's okay. I think it's I think Romana will do this job.
Pardon me?
So we have another teacher who is helping with this recording.
Oh, this is being recorded.
Amanda. Yes, it's Amanda.
And is it being videoed?
I think. Well, I hope so. I think I need to contact her and to confirm about this.
Because we want every session videoed, because we're going to put it on Lee Lu's Asia OD Network website for people to come back and visit later. Okay, so we're done with this opening. So let's go off to let's see, what do we got? I guess we go off to tea, right? And then the inimitable Dr. Rothwell comes on and does his session. But here I want to say this to all of you. I hope that each of you will be here as full participants of the conference as much as possible. My daughter just finished a virtual 8-day, 24-hour session around the world. We had over 500,000 downloads of the videoed sessions. And so we want to do that here also. And just let me say, within 2 years, I'm going to make the promise that we will be able to have a virtual conference that creates transformation that's deeper than Kathy Dannemiller ever did at Ford and Boeing with 1,500, 300 people in the room. Singularity University is going to offer an X Prize for this. And they're right now, there's about 5 or 7 organizations that are sending millions of dollars figuring out how to do this, because they want to win the prize of $1 million to be the one that has the technology open for us to use free of charge. And then we're going to rock and roll, let me tell you. We'll have Bill Rothwell up dancing behind his chair like you can't imagine. Okay, so here we go. We're going off to tea for what, 20 minutes, huh? 10, 20, 30. For how long we going to tea? Oh, 10:30.
At
Huh?
20 minutes later, shall we come back at 20 minutes later, like we reconnect at 10:15 China time? Is it okay?
10:15 time.
Yeah, that's
20
fine.
minutes, 20 minutes break.
All right, 20
Everybody,
minutes.
thank you for all 63 of you for being here. We love you. We care about you. And as Confucius would say, pow.
Come back for my session too. 20 minutes.
Okay, see you in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Aye.
再见.
Aye.
So, Lee, do the organizers need us around anymore?
No, not unless you want to stay.
I trust
I know
Bill.
it's late. Yes.
Yeah, Bill's going to do a great job.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much. Yes.
Nice start, Lee. And,
Okay.
and,
See you tomorrow.
and the outline for the program is excellent. So I hope it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Roland, are you going to stay?
What I'm going to say is break time, tea time.
I mean, next session.
20 minutes. Well, it's the inimitable Professor Big Guy, Dr. Bill Rothwell, who is the world's expert on integrating organization development and HR.
Yeah. Oh, Nandy just left.
Who else has published 125 books in the world?
Nandy, are you there? Nandy left.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you, Nandy. So you're going to take your mom to the hospital soon?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for my, actually I did, I did the one seminar, an hour workshop, to the free seminar to arranged by my university. It's about the transformative workplace. I mean, quite similar to the one that I'm going to present. I'm going to present at this AODN. The topic that I posted to you, but unfortunately, because I don't really know what is going to happen to her tomorrow, so it's like I better not. That's why I didn't do it, but it was in such short notice, because she can't breathe well. She was sick for she is sick for a week already, so that's I feel really sorry for that. And I do relay all the messages to my colleagues and my partner as well. Whoever wants to attend this seminar by registering, but due to the difficulties in this time, our country is recently, I mean, deterred by extended the stay at home and the other restrictions, the regional restrictions, either in both in Yangon and Mandalay, they are extending till end of December. So it's like a little bit tough to communicate. But actually, it's a learning process as well. Matt mentioned about the technology as well, and then we are not actually, we can't start truly OD in our country, as you all know, but through teamwork, as I do right now, teamwork and because I'm really in it, on sharing my experience, how I passed my 10 months, since March 2020 in my workplace, You know, this is very, this is very challenging. It was very challenging, still is challenging. And also I did my own research, and I'm sharing this with my strategy and master MBA students. Their strategy, it's been like, Roland appreciate, my paper, because it is very, very, it's very exciting, and it's interesting. I do share with my experience with the 2-3 organizations for the for how I react the workplace transformation, and the how it works, how it functions and operate. So, but I do miss the opportunity to be with you. So let me excuse from my mother.
Let me say that in this new world, and it's never going to go back to normal, families are first. That's very important. Second of all, to the rest of you, Nandi is probably one of the greatest CEOs in her country. Okay,
Thank you.
She's a big, important person in her country. And so we're so happy that she can spend a little time with us now and then, because she's a busy woman. Okay.
Okay.
So,
sorry to interrupt. Just some logistic, Roland and Professor Liu. Now people are taking break. Originally, the agenda starts at 10:50, which people should click on the next button of join session, right? Because each session have a different web link. But now we are ahead of time, so we now start at 10:15. So when people coming back, if they click the join session which is supposed to start at 10:50, can people connect into it? Is someone technically covering this transition, making sure that participants can rejoin our next session smoothly without any technical barrier?
okay, that's going to be a challenge, I think.
Yeah, I will check. I'll check now.
Yeah,
okay.
so this link will not work. We've got to go to the new link.
Yeah, next one. Every session has its own link.
Yeah, for the 10:50.
But the new link needs to start earlier than its original plan, right? So Professor Liu, you are connecting to the technical team okay, thank you.
Yes, well, hey, we need a technical team, at least 2 of you here, all the time through the conference, because people are going to need help. No question about it.
Yeah.
And so we need something we can just click, and there's our there's there's Amber right there helping us. Okay, so you guys need to cover this, for every session, the technical support, if you can. Okay, I guess that's it for now. I'm going to disengage and try and get on to the next session. And if I can't, Dr. Lee, you're going to get a phone call from me.
I heard other people, they probably, you may have to download, go to webinar in order to get in. Some people are lucky, they can just click and get on, but some people have to download to go webinar.
Well, I have it downloaded.
Okay, then you should be okay.
What do you mean? I can just stay right here?
No, I mean, you have to still get on the right session with the, with its own link.
And if I can't find it on my emails, I'm going to call you, Dr. Lee.
Okay, no problem. Yes.
You all.
Okay.
I can only say this. I'm excited. And the only thing that's more exciting is tomorrow. Because as Pope Francis, he's one of my clients, just heard from Peter Diamandis from Singularity University, we're never going to go back to normal. And What we need is solidarity and get rid of the American USA economy type. We need to go to, as the Pope says, we need to go to a new shared economy where everybody in the world has money and there's no poverty. And so that's why I'm so excited about what we're doing. And I want to just say to you again, because you'll hear from me all the time, there is no one else in the world, Andy and Lilu, that is professionally trained in organization change and transformation. And the issue for the world today is change. And we are the professionals to facilitate that leap, that jerk, that paradigm shift into an exciting future. And climate change in my daughter's 8-day open space around the world where there was 500,000 video downloads, and talking to the scientists in the Amazon, we have 7 to 12 months to turn this around, or there'll be no one living in China. Simple as that. You're going to have to move to Siberia or Alaska or Greenland to survive, because climate change is going to get more intense, you know? And so that's my speech. And now I'm going to, go. How many minutes before we go back online?
You got 8 minutes.
How much?
8 minutes.
It's okay.
I suggest we keep maybe Amber or Mandy, you can stay on this session, because there may be people coming back to this session. I mean, they don't know need to click the other session. I didn't know that neither. I was just checking the email again. Some people do not check. Many people do not check. So we need to have people stand by in this session, just in case the participant log into this session again, then you can tell them to reconnect to the next session by clicking the button in the email for the next session.
Yeah, that's very thoughtful and smart. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Professor Lu, the technical team confirmed that they can start this next session earlier.
Let me check. Not yet. Let me.
Dr. Liu? Dr. Liu, can you hear me? I can go ahead and start the next session. That's not a problem. This is Liz Beckner. I work with Sunny.
Oh, okay, Liz.
Yes. I'm here in the background. I am here. I'm answering questions and sending people join links.
Okay. That's good. The question is, since we already late for the next session, would anybody be able to get in?
Yes. So what I can do is I can go ahead and start the next session. We can have everybody go on to the next session. And then we can leave this one open. And as Ma had suggested, have one person stay just to direct people over to that session for a little bit.
Great idea.
Thanks,
Okay.
Sunny. Thanks,
That's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Liz.
Welcome. I'll go ahead and start the next session.
Okay. we do have support behind us.
Yes, I'm just hiding off screen.
Behind the scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Liz, I also have a question. Many people ask they cannot see their own photo.
So say that again. They're trying to see their own webcam.
Yes.
There should be a thing at the top where you should be able to click and scroll down where you can say share my webcam, hide all, or then you can go into preferences.
Oh, okay.
All right, I am going to go back on mute as I start the next session because I don't want it to have feedback.
Okay, and I'm going to join the second session now. So maybe Emma or Mandy, one of you would stay on here just in case there are people coming back to, and you need to direct them to the next session. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can stay here. Right.
Thank you, Amber. Yeah.
Oh,
See you later. Yeah.
See you.
OK， 韩老师，我们要到另外一个 session 去了。
Okay. I'll
Okay.
stay here and
See
see if
you.
anybody
Oh,
comes.
you stay here. OK, OK, great.
All right.
Okay, I'm trying to launch the second session and it's actually telling me that I'm not allowed to launch a second session. So we are going to have to close this one and open the next one.
Sure. Thank you. That's good. So nobody can
Which is,
come in.
yeah, it'll force people to click the second link anyways.
Yes, makes sense.
So, I mean, if you close this one, I can also go to the second one, right?
Yes,
correct, yes.
Right. Nobody can
Yes,
come back to this one.
Right, this one will be closed for good.
Yeah,
You'll
OK.
be forced to go to the second one. All right.
Thank you. See you in a minute.
OK, thank you. See you there.
you.